When Denny Hamlin won $1 million at the 2026 NASCAR All-Star Race, he stood in victory lane and told reporters he would rather have had a points race instead. That one sentence tells you everything you need to know about what happened at Dover Motor Speedway on May 17, 2026. And Hamlin was far from the only one with something to say. The NASCAR All-Star Race has one job: to be a spectacle. No championship points, no playoff implications, just the sport's best drivers racing for a massive cash prize and bragging rights. It is supposed to feel different. It is supposed to feel special. But this year, from the moment the haulers rolled into Dover, something felt off. Dover Motor Speedway is one of the most punishing tracks on the entire NASCAR circuit. The 1-mile concrete oval with steep banking has earned its nickname, the Monster Mile, because it chews up cars and spits them out. And here is something that made fans uneasy before a single lap was run. 2026 marked the first year in Dover's 58-year history that the track did not receive a real points race. Dover went from hosting 2 major Cup Series races per year down to just this one exhibition event. A lot of people felt that was a significant downgrade, and the drivers noticed immediately. The format itself was brand new and frankly complicated. All 36 cars started together, a major departure from tradition, which had previously featured a separate qualifying race called the Open that gave non-eligible drivers a shot to race their way in. This year, NASCAR eliminated the Open entirely. Instead, the race ran in 3 phases. Segment 1 was 75 laps. Segment 2 was another 75 laps, with the top 26 cars inverted, meaning the fastest finishers from segment 1 had to restart at the back. And segment 3, the money round, was 200 laps with the field cut to 26 cars, the winner taking home $1 million. Of those 26 spots, 19 drivers were locked in automatically based on race wins, past all-star victories, or former championships. 6 more earned their way in through combined average finish, and one final spot went to the winner of the All-Star fan vote, which went to Daniel Suarez. The core problem with this structure was visible before the race even started. Running all 36 cars together in the first 2 segments put the drivers who were already locked into the final in direct danger of having their races ended by someone with nothing to lose. And the drivers knew it. During Media Day on Friday, the mood was openly critical. Chase Elliott, the 2020 Cup Series champion and an 8-time winner of NASCAR's most popular driver award, put it plainly: it feels like a normal weekend. I would say this feels the least like an all-star weekend that we've ever had in my career. He said the atmosphere reminded him of a routine fall Dover points race, not a celebration of the sport's best. Bubba Wallace echoed that sentiment with even sharper frustration. It just doesn't feel like all-star weekend. It just feels like another race weekend. I'm having to tell myself this weekend doesn't really matter. And then he added something that really landed: it's just blah, and I hate that. I hate that for our sport. I hate that for the fans. Even Hamlin, the man who would go on to win the whole thing, had doubts going in. Before the race, he said, "If we're all going to be racing on Sunday, is it really that special? So I think it does take away a little bit. Surely it does." Part of what was missing was the atmosphere that once made this event iconic. For years, the All-Star Race at Charlotte Motor Speedway meant Saturday night racing, loud driver introductions, fireworks, and a packed grandstand that felt electric. The race has since bounced from Charlotte to Bristol to Texas to North Wilkesboro and now Dover, and the constant venue changes have steadily drained its identity. In 2026, the race started at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in the afternoon sun, competing directly with the PGA Championship for viewers. Then the green flag dropped and things got worse fast. On just lap 2, Ryan Preece came down the banking in turn 1, made contact with Todd Gilliland, and triggered a 9-car pileup. Kyle Larson, a 3-time All-Star Race winner and the reigning Cup Series champion, slammed the wall hard. Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott, both already locked into the final segment, were also collected in the wreck. Preece's number 60 Ford backed into the outside wall at high speed, and the rear end erupted in flames. He climbed out uninjured and was quickly released from the infield care center. Preece acknowledged that his role in the crash: "I'm fine. I seem to take big hits. If it was my fault, I'm sorry." Larson surveyed his damaged car and delivered one of the day's more memorable lines: "It looks like number 5 team arts and crafts right now. Try to make the most out of a sucky day." After a lengthy red flag cleanup, the race resumed. Hamlin eventually took the lead from Brad Keselowski and pulled away, but segment 1 wasn't finished delivering damage. With just laps remaining, Carson Hocevar hit the wall with a flat tire, bringing out a caution. Then on the restart, Riley Herbst got loose coming off turn 4 and made contact with Alex Bowman, setting off a second 9-car crash on the front stretch. Elliott, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, John Hunter Nemechek, Chris Buescher, and others were all swept up. Elliott found himself collected in 2 separate crashes within a single segment. Bubba Wallace, who had stayed out on old tires during the final restart, passed Hamlin and won segment 1 as the field was frozen under caution. Segment 2 began with a chaotic restart order. Many of the naturally fast cars were in the back, and many damaged cars were theoretically at the front. It didn't take long for more trouble. On just lap 6 of the segment, Ross Chastain and Keselowski made contact exiting turn 2. Wallace, coming through the same area, got swept into the wreck as well. Chastain's car was destroyed. His radio call to his spotter said it all. "Hey Brandon, we're done buddy." Trackhouse Racing confirmed it immediately. Chastain was out for the day. Shane Van Gisbergen later spun in turn 4 under green, adding more caution laps to an already battered afternoon. Tyler Reddick ultimately took control and won segment 2. By the time the dust settled heading into the final, more than half of the 36-car field had sustained damage. Here's where the format problem cut deepest. Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain had both been locked into the final segment before the race even started. They had earned those spots. But their cars were damaged beyond what their crews could repair in time, and NASCAR's rules did not allow backup cars. So neither one competed for the $1 million. NASCAR's official records do not even list them as competing in the race at all. Drivers like Larson, Blaney, Busch, Keselowski, Wallace, and Bell started the final segment in beat-up slow machinery with no realistic shot at victory. One fan online captured the frustration perfectly. What happened at Dover was not an all-star race, it was an all-charter race. When everyone's an all-star, no one is. The 200-lap final was comparatively cleaner. Hamlin, starting from pole based on his combined segment finishes, led the early laps before Chase Briscoe, his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, cleared him on a restart and held the lead for 61 laps. Reddick surged through the field and briefly challenged for the win before suffering a mechanical failure, ending his shot. Rookie Connor Zilisch ran impressively near the front, but was penalized for a pit equipment violation on lap 78, dropping him from second all the way to 21st. He methodically fought back to finish 5th. Joey Logano blew a left rear tire on lap 139 and hit the wall, creating another late caution. With 29 laps remaining, Hamlin finally tracked down Briscoe, made the pass on the front stretch, and pulled away to win by 0.887 seconds. He led 103 of 200 final laps. Eric Jones finished 3rd, Austin Dillon 4th, and Zilisch 5th. In his post-race press conference, Hamlin did not pretend to be satisfied with the event itself. On what he planned to do with the prize money, he gave an emotional answer. "I'll probably give it to Mama." A meaningful gesture given that Hamlin lost his father in December in a fire that destroyed his parents' home. On the format, he was measured but direct. When asked if he would still prefer a points race at Dover even after winning $1 million, he did not hesitate. "Oh yeah, no doubt." His proposed fix was straightforward. "First thing is, let's give Dover their points, race back, and then let's figure out where we're going to go and then figure out the format." He also said the race should be held at night rather than the afternoon, and he was careful to avoid being unfair to the organizers. "I'm not trying to throw mud. They did as good as they possibly could given where they put this track in the schedule." Briscoe, who had battled a stomach bug all weekend and whose car was essentially rebuilt after a practice crash on Saturday, finished second and acknowledged the bittersweet nature of his run. "I wish this was a points race, because we kinda need that too." Zilisch, the 19-year-old rookie, offered a more optimistic take, calling the result a moment of genuine encouragement after a difficult first Cup Series season. "It's been a long year, and moments of hope like this certainly feel good." The broader conversation is hard to avoid. The All-Star Race has changed venues 5 times in recent years, and each move has come with a new format experiment. The elimination of the Open, once widely considered the most entertaining part of All-Star Weekend, removed one of the event's most reliable sources of genuine drama. Running 350 total laps in an exhibition race on a brutally punishing concrete oval in the early afternoon produced exactly the kind of criticism NASCAR should have anticipated. Charlotte, with its history, its Saturday night tradition, location and its place as NASCAR's backyard is repeatedly cited by drivers and media as the event's natural home. 2027 will mark the 35th anniversary of One Hot Night, the legendary 1992 All-Star Race at Charlotte, and there is a growing case for a return. There was also one final small piece of confusion after the checkered flag. Fox Sports initially credited Noah Gragson with a 10th place finish, but the official results corrected it, moving Brad Keselowski to 10th and dropping Gragson to 11th. No points were affected. There were none to give, but it was one more strange footnote on a day full of them. NASCAR did offer Dover assurances that the Cup Series will return to the track, but the format that produced this race, the venue decision that replaced 2 points events with one exhibition, and the atmosphere that left drivers describing their weekend as blah, all of it is now squarely under the microscope. The Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway is next on May 24th, with defending race winner Ross Chastain seeking his first victory since that very race. Real points, real consequences. And after a weekend like Dover, that might feel like exactly what everyone needs.